Ghana, in its beauty, is fortunate to be blessed with a lot of regions, culture, history, and heritage. Ghana is known to be sharing borders with Burkina Faso, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and the Gulf of Guinea. Ghana has a lot of rich history. Now, someone is going to ask us, why are we talking about Ghana today? We are talking about Ghana because this month happens to be Ghana month. This is the month in which Ghana gains its independence, and Ghana is fortunate to be 68 years after gaining independence. Today, I'm going to give you a short but detailed information about how Ghana gained its independence, how colonial masters came to Ghana, how trade happened those times, which people came to Ghana first, what are some of the festivals and other things celebrated in Ghana. Ghana, a vibrant West African nation, boasts a rich history and diverse cultural heritage. As the first African country to gain independence from colonial rule in 1957, Ghana has played a significant role in African liberation movement. Its historical roots stretches from ancient kingdoms and trans-Saharan trade to colonial struggles and modern political evolution. Culturally, Ghana is a melting pot of ethnic groups, languages, festivals, arts, and traditions that reflect deep connection to heritage and communal values. We are going to talk about the ancient Ghana Empire, that is the 4th to the 13th century. Now, we know a lot of things happened during that time. So we are going to talk a little about the 4th to the 13th century of Ghana. The ancient Ghana Empire, also known as Ouagadougou, was one of the earliest and most powerful African empires, flourishing between the 4th and the 13th centuries. It was renowned for its wealth, vast trade networks, and advanced governance system. The empire played a pivotal role in shaping the historical and economic landscape of West Africa. That means it didn't shape only Ghana, but it shaped West Africa as a whole. Now, this document provides an in-depth exploration of its origin, the rise to power, governance, economy, society, and eventually its decline. We are going to talk about the origin of the Ghana Empire. We all know Ghana didn't just come to be Ghana. Before it became Ghana, it originated from somewhere. So we'll be talking about the Ghana Empire, which is believed to have been found by the Soninke people, a sub-Saharan group of the Mande ethnic group. Oral traditions and historical records suggest that it originated in the region and now it's southeastern Mauritania and western Mali. So between the southeastern Mauritania and the western Mali, that was where Ghana originated from. The name Ghana itself was a title given to the rulers, meaning warrior king. So the name Ghana was given by the rulers, and it means warrior king. The empire emerged in the Sahel, a semi-arid region south of the Sahara Desert. This geographical position was advantageous as it facilitated trade between North African Berbers and the sub-Saharan African merchants. By the 4th century, the Ghana Empire had begun to establish itself as a dominant regional power. This is a little history about the Ghana Empire. Now we want to see how they rose and the power and how they expanded to become Ghana. Ghana's rise was fueled by its strategic control over time over the trans-Saharan trade routes. The empire became a key intermediary in the trade of gold, salt, and other valuable commodities between the North Africa and West Africa. By the 8th century, Ghana had grown into a formidable empire with a well-recognized military and administrative system. Now, we can't dispute that fact that even as of now, Ghana still has a well-organized military system. That is why sometimes Ghanaians are even called on for peacekeeping, because our military system is very organized and the administrative system it's compared to none. Under the leadership of powerful rulers such as King Kayamagan and his successors, Ghana expanded its territory, incorporating various smaller states and ethnic groups. The capital city, Kumbi Saleh, became a thriving commercial hub with separate quarters for traders and royal officials. Economic prosperity and trade. Like I said, they were trading in salt, gold, and other valuables. Now, those times, like I've always been saying, Ghana is very rich. We are blessed, fortunate, with a lot of minerals. So the salt, the gold, the oil, these are just but a few. So we are going to talk about the economic prosperity and trade that happened during Ghana Empire. The Ghana Empire's economy was built on trade, particularly in gold and salt. So as of that time, it was just gold and salt that we were really dealing in. Gold was abundant in the region. We had a lot of gold, especially from the Bambouk and the Bar mines. The empire controlled and taxed the trade. It controlled and taxed the trade route, ensuring a steady flow of wealth. That means the wealth was regulated. It had a very steady flow. Salt, sourced from the Sahara, was equally valuable as it was essential for food preservation and human consumption. Now, a very good preservative of food is salt. So if your country is able to produce a lot of salt, then your food can never go waste. Merchants for the Maghreb, including the Berbers and Arabs, bought goods such as textiles. They brought goods such as textiles, copper, and horses in exchange for gold and ivory. That means that they were bringing the textiles, the Arabs and the Berbers. They were bringing textiles, copper, and horses in exchange for gold and ivory. Now, do you know ivory is a very expensive commodity? Yes, Ghana is fortunate and blessed with ivory. This expensive trade network contributed to Ghana's immense wealth, making it one of the richest empires of its time. So in between the 4th and 13th centuries, specifically the 8th century, Ghana was blessed to be one of the richest empires of that time. The governance and administration. The Ghana Empire was governed and centralized monarchy, with the king holding absolute power. The king was not only a political leader, but also a religious figure who was believed to have divine authority. He was supported by a council of ministers and provincial governors who administered various regions of the empire. So various administration were given to principal governors. They were asked to take care of the various regions of the empire. As of that time, Ghana was not divided into 16 as at now. So at that time, the regions were divided and then the provincial governors were asked to administrate. Local chiefs paid tribute to the king in exchange for protection and trade privileges. The judicial system was well structured, with laws enforced by royal officials. The king's court was an important center of administration where disputes were resolved and policies were formulated. We are going to talk about the society and the culture. Ghana's society was highly stratified, with a clear distinction between the ruling elites, merchants, artisans, farmers, and slaves. The Soninke people formed the core of the empire's population, but the empire was also home to various ethnic groups who contributed to its cultural diversity. Islam began to influence Ghana through trade with Muslim merchants from North Africa. While the rulers initially adhered to traditional African religions, many adopted Islam over time, integrating Islamic practices with indigenous beliefs. Arabic writing and Islamic education became increasingly prominent, especially in urban centers like the Kumbi Saleh. Military strength. The Ghana Empire maintained a strong military to protect its trade routes and territory. Now, if you don't have a very strong military and your routes or your routes are very loose, as you know, people will invade. So the army was composed of well-trained soldiers equipped with iron weapons. The King's Special Guard, or the King's Personal Guard, was particularly formidable, ensuring the security of the royal court and enforcing his rule over vassal states. The military also played a crucial role in the empire's expansion, enabling Ghana to annex neighboring territories and control important trade centers. However, the Ghana Empire grew. It faced increasing challenges from external forces. Now, you know, as your country begins to grow, or as you begin to expand and rise, you would definitely have a lot of enemies. So people tried to attack the Ghana Empire, and it caused a little decrease in the system. By the late 11th century, Ghana faced significant threats from multiple fronts. The Almoravids, a Berber Muslim dynasty from North Africa, launched a series of invasions in the 1070s, weakening the empire. Although Ghana managed to resist total conquest, the invasion disrupted trade and led to political instability. Internal conflicts and rebellions further strained the empire. Vassal states sought independence, and the empire control over trade routes weakened. By the early 13th century, Ghana had lost much of its former glory, and the rise of the Mali Empire under Sundiata Keita in the 1230s marked the definitive end of Ghana's dominance. When you have enemies and you are not strong, definitely there will be a decline in your system. Legacy of the Ghana Empire. Despite its decline, the Ghana Empire left a lasting impact on West African history. It established trade networks that continued to thrive under subsequent empires, such as Mali and Songhai. The integration of Islam into West African societies can also be traced back to Ghana's interaction with Muslim merchants. The name Ghana was adopted by the modern nation of Ghana upon gaining independence in 1957, symbolizing a connection to rich heritage of the ancient empire. Medieval and pre-colonial Ghana between the 13th and the 19th century. Ghana's history from the 13th to 19th century is a rich tapestry woven with the rise and fall of powerful kingdoms, dynamic trade networks, and cultural transformations. This period witnessed influence over major empires such as Mali and Songhai empires, the emergence of the Akan states, and the establishment of the Ashanti Empire among the significant developments. The pre-colonial era set the stage for Ghana's eventual encounter with European powers and the transatlantic trade that will shape its destiny. The legacy of ancient Ghana and the transition to the 13th century. Although the ancient Ghana Empire was located in present-day Mali and Mauritania, its decline in the 13th century influenced the migration of various groups southward into modern Ghana. This movement led to the formation of new state societies, particularly among the Akan, Mole-Dagbani, and Ewe people. The rise of the Akan states between the 13th and the 17th century. The formation of the Akan clans. By the 13th century, various Akan groups had migrated southward and settled in the forested regions of modern Ghana. The Akan people organized themselves into clans based on matrilineal descent, which played a key role in the governance and inheritance. The Bono states between the 13th and the 17th century. One of the earliest Akan states was the Bono Kingdom, which emerged around the 13th century, located near present-day Techiman. Bono flourished as an early gold-producing state, engaging in trade with North American merchants through the Trans-Saharan network. The Denchura, Achem, and Fanti states. By the 16th century, other African states, such as the Denchura, the Achem, and Fanti, had established strong political and economic foundations. The Denchura kingdom, in particular, was a dominant power before being overthrown by the Ashanti in the 18th century. We are going to the Mole-Dagbani and northern influences. In the northern part of Ghana, the Mole-Dagbani people established states such as the Dagomba, Mamprugu, Nanumba, and Owala. These kingdoms, founded by warrior groups, believed to have migrated from present-day Burkina Faso, maintained strong connections with the Sahelian trade networks, particularly in salts, kola nuts, and livestock. The rise of the Ashanti Empire in the 17th and 19th century. The Ashanti Empire emerged in the late 17th century under the leadership of Osei Tutu and his chief priest, Okonfo Anoche. The kingdom was founded on the principles of unity and strength, symbolized by the golden stool, which became the spiritual and political emblem of Ashanti's identity. Military prowess and political organization. The Ashanti military was well organized, utilizing firearms obtained from European traders to expand its territory. The empire established a centralized administration under the Asantehene, that is the name of the king, who ruled with the support of the Council of Chiefs. Economic prosperity. Gold production, trade, and taxation made Ashanti one of the wealthiest African states. The empire controlled major trade routes, dealing in gold, slaves, and kola nuts with both internal and external markets, including European traders along the coast. Conflict resistance from the British, leading to such conflicts such as the Anglo-Ashanti Wars. The British ultimately defeated the Ashanti in the early 20th century, paving the way for colonial rule. Coastal trade and European influence between the 15th and 19th century. The arrival of the Portuguese in the 15th century marked the beginning of European involvement in the region. Over the next centuries, the Dutch, British, and Danes established trading forts along the coast, facilitating trade in gold and later in enslaved Africans. The transatlantic slave trade. Between the 17th and 19th century, the transatlantic slave trade had significant impacts on Ghana. European merchants, in collaboration with local rulers, participated in the trade of captives to the Americans. This trade had devastating effects on Ghanaian societies, leading to population loss, internal conflicts, and economic shifts. Resistance to the European domination. Despite the influence of European traders, Ghanaian states actively resisted foreign domination. Coastal groups such as the Fanti Confederation, my hometown, formed in the 19th century, sought to protect their interests against British encroachment. Social and cultural life in pre-colonial Ghana. Ghanaian societies during this period were characterized by a deep respect for traditional governance, spirituality, and communal living. Key aspects of social life included chieftaincy and governance, that is, the chiefs and kings played vital role in administration, often ruling with the advice of councils. Then we have indigenous religious beliefs were widespread, with shrines and chiefs priesthood maintaining a balance between the spiritual and physical worlds. Then the arts and literature, oral traditions such as storytelling, proverbs, drumming was central to cultural identity. Economic activities. We have agriculture, blacksmith, weaving, example, the kente cloth, like my adornment. I'm adorned in the kente cloth. And fishing were major economic activities. The Akan states. The Akan people established influential states, including the Ashanti Empire, Denchura, Akwamu, and the Fanti Confederacy. The Ashanti Empire, founded in the late 17th century by Osei Tutu and his spiritual advisor, Okonfanoche, became one of the dominant forces in West Africa. The empire was renowned for its military prowess, sophisticated governance, and gold wealth. The golden stool, a sacred symbol of Ashanti unity, remains an important cultural and political artifact today. The Northern Kingdoms. In northern Ghana, the Mole-Dagbani groups, including the Dagomba, Mamprusi, and Gonja, form centralized states with a strong military tradition. They engaged in the trans-Saharan trade, connecting the region to North Africa and beyond. Islam influenced these kingdoms through interactions with traders and scholars. The Ga-Dangbe and the Ewe people. The Ga-Dangbe settled in the coastal region and developed strong trade networks with European merchants. The Ewe, primarily located in Volta region, maintained a decentralized system of governance with chiefs and the community leaders overseeing local affairs. European contacts and colonial era between the 15th and 20th century. Ghana's coastline attracted European explorers and traders, leading to a complex era of trade, conflict, and colonization. The transatlantic slave trade. In the 15th century, the Portuguese arrived, followed by the Dutch, British, Danes. Ghana's coasts, known as Gold Coast, became a major center for transatlantic slave trade. Europeans built fortresses like the Elmina Castle and Cape Coast Castle to facilitate the trade. The slave trade devastated many communities, but it also led to the resistance, including efforts by the Ashanti to curb European dominance. We are moving on to British colonization. By the late 19th century, British forces had consolidated control over the Gold Coast. They clashed with the Ashanti in a series of wars before fully annexing the territory in 1902. The British established indirect rule, utilizing local chiefs to administer colonial policies. The struggle for independence and modern Ghana from the 20th century to present. Ghana became a beacon of African independence, with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah leading the movement. The United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, and the Convention People's Party, CPP, championed self-rule, culminating in Ghana's independence on March 6, 1957. Nkrumah's vision of Pan-African influence liberation movements across continents. Despite political instability in the following decades, Ghana transitioned to a stable democracy in 1990s. Today, it is celebrated for its peaceful elections and economic progress. That is one thing you can't take away from Ghanaians. We always have peaceful elections, and our elections don't aggravate the citizens of the country. Cultural heritage of Ghana. Ghana's cultural diversity is evident in its ethnic groups, languages, festivals, arts, music, and cuisine. Ethnic groups and their languages. Ghana is a home to over 100 ethnic groups, each with distinct language and traditions. The major ethnic groups include Akan, that is the Ashanti, the Fanti, the Kwiapem, the Achems, and so on. The Mole-Dagbani, they are the Dagomba, the Mamprusi, and so on. the Ga Dangbe, we have the Gas, the Dangbes, we have the Ewe, they are lows. We have Guan, they are the Futu, Latte, and so on. Now, English is the official language, but Chi, Ewe, Ga, Hausa, Fanti, and Dagbani are widely spoken. Festivals and celebrations. You can't come to Ghana without getting a festival to celebrate too, because Ghanaian festivals. Hey. Ghana is known for its rich cultural heritage, which is celebrated across the country. These festivals serve as a means of preserving tradition, fostering unity, and across the country. These festivals, serve as preserving tradition, fostering unity, and promoting economic growth. Each festival has its unique significance, rituals, and historical background, making them essential cultural assets, not only for Ghana, but also for the global community. We are going to talk about some of the most vibrant festivals in Ghana, their cultural and social importance, and their positive impact on the nation and the world. Ghanaian festivals honor ancestors, harvests, and historical events. Some notable ones include the Homowo Festival. The Homowo is one of Ghana's most famous traditional celebrations, observed by the Gan people of the Greater Accra region. This vibrant and culturally rich festival, meaning hooting at hunger, commemorates the Gan people's triumph over famine, which according to history occurred during their migration to present-day Ghana. The event, marked by rituals, feasting, drumming, and dancing, remains a significant annual festival that attracts both locals and tourists. The Ghana people trace their ancestry to migration from regions among or around modern Nigeria and Benin. During their journey, they encountered severe famine, leading to hardship, suffering, and so on. However, through perseverance, they eventually arrived at their current location, where they were able to cultivate and harvest abundant food, bringing an end to their struggle. To celebrate this victory, they instituted the Homowo Festival, symbolizing their resilience and appreciation for a bountiful harvest. The preparation for the Homowo Festival begins several months in advance with cultural activities such as planting and nurturing maize, the staple crop of the Ga people. Now, during the activity, they have ban on drum and noise making. One of the key pre-festival rituals is the enforcement of month-long ban on drumming and loud noise. This period is meant to maintain spiritual discipline, allowing prayers and libations to be offered to the gods and ancestors for a successful harvest and protection. Pokoi, preservation or preparation. The festival signature dish, pokoi, is made from steamed and fermented cornmeal mixed with palm oil. Preparations for this dish begin weeks before the festival, as it plays a central role in the celebrations. The Homowo Festival follows a structured sequence of events with filled traditional and spiritual significance. Sprinkling of Popoy. The festival reaches its climax when the chief and elders sprinkle Popoy mixed with palm oil in various locations, including family homes and sacred sites. This act is a symbolic offering to the ancestors in gratitude for their guidance and protection. The Ga chiefs and traditional priests pour libations and offer prayers to ancestral spirits for continued blessing, protection, and prosperity. This ritual is performed at shrines, in family homes, and at major gathering places. The name Homowo, meaning hooting at hunger, is best demonstrated when the Ga people make loud noises and jubilation to mock and drive away hunger. This tradition is deeply rooted in their history of overcoming famine. On the day of the festival, Ga families come together to prepare and share meals, with Popoy being the main dish served alongside fish and palm soup. This communal meal signifies unity and thanksgiving. Following the official festival rituals, the community engages in dancing, drumming, and singing. Various dance styles, such as Spanlogo, are performed, bringing together people of all ages. The Ga people hold a special belief that twins possess spiritual significance. During Homowo, special blessings and rituals are performed for twins, recognizing them as the bearers of good fortune. A major highlight of the festival is the Durbar of Chiefs, where Ga leaders dressed in colorful traditional regalia are paraded through the streets. The chiefs sit in palanquins, accompanied by drumming, music, and dancing as they receive homage from their people. In recent years, sporting events, beauty pageants, and musical performances have been incorporated in the festival, making it even more entertaining and inclusive for younger generations and even visitors. The Homo Festival is not just a celebration, but a deep expression of a Ga identity and heritage. It serves multiple purposes: commemoration of ancestral struggles, promoting unity, spiritual renewal, tourism, and economic boost. While the essence of the festival remains intact, certain elements have evolved in suits contemporary times. Today, media coverage, commercial sponsorship, and urban influence have transformed aspects of the festival. Additionally, social media and digital platforms play a significant role in promoting Homowo globally. Positive effects. We have the cultural preservation, that is, the festival keeps the traditions of the Ga people alive. Tourism growth, it attracts thousands of visitors. Community bonding, it brings strength amongst the people. Then the Abuachir Festival. The Abuachir Festival is an annual tradition celebrated by the Futu people of Winneba in the central region of Ghana. The festival is one of the most popular and culturally significant celebrations in the country, drawing both local and international spectators. The term Abuachir translates to game hunting. In the Akan language, the festival revolves around a competitive deer hunting expedition, which has deep historical, spiritual, and social significance. we are going to have a detailed analysis of the Abuachiri festival, exploring its history, cultural relevance, rituals, and contemporary impact on the people of Winneba and Ghana as a whole. The origin of the Abuachiri festival dates back. The origins of the Abuachiri festival dates back several centuries when the Futu people migrated from the Sahel region to Africa to present-day Ghana. Oral traditions suggest that their journey was difficult and they sought divine intervention from their deity, Penchotu, who guided them through their current settlement in Winneba. Upon settling, the people sought to show gratitude by offering human sacrifices as a token of appreciation. However, as society evolved, the practice of human sacrifice was deemed inhumane and was eventually abolished. It was then replaced with annual ritual involving the hunting of a live wild animal, which was later standardized to a bushback due to its spiritual relevance. The festival is not only celebrated in the past. The festival is not only a celebration of the past, but also an opportunity to promote unity, spirituality, bravery, and cultural identity among the Futu people. Its key significance includes spiritual relevance, cultural identity, brave and strength, that is the competition between hunting groups as a test for courage and endurance, community bonding, tourism and economic boost. The ritual and celebration process. The Abuachiri Festival is a week-long event filled with numerous activities. The most notable rituals include the preparation, that is weeks before the festival. Community elders, that is what I'm doing, and you are not moving. Weeks before the festival, community leaders, traditional leaders, and members of the royal families engage in cleansing rituals and consultations with the deity. The ritual seeks to appease the gods, ensuring a peaceful and successful festival. The two main warrior groups, the Tuafo and the Dentifo, also prepare for the grand deer hunting